Hello everybody, my name is Alex.
And I'm Gary.
And he's Salty. And we're AchieveMates.
All day, every day.
No problem?
Oh, there's a problem.
I did a backwards question mark. Perfect. Welcome to this installment of
What's in your dish
tray? Roll intro?
AchieveMates.
Go and drink your salty coffee. Hello everybody, my name is Alex, and this week on What's in Your Dish Tray, I'm going to be talking about a game I've actually already talked about, but I've gotten back into and I'm playing a lot again, and that's Fallout 4. Fallout 4 has released, just recently has finished releasing all of its DLC, the most recent one being the Nuka World, and so I've been actually going back and playing a lot of the DLC for Fallout 4, but the DLC I've actually been focusing completely on is the Vault Tech DLC, which is the DLC that actually allows you to build your own vault, and it's awesome. Like, you could literally just build a vault. The only thing on the downside of it is that you can't choose where the vault is going to be, and you can't choose the name. It's pre-built into a quest line. It's Vault 88. Whenever you get high enough level, you get a radio signal that you tune into, and it starts the quest line. And basically, you go into this decrepit vault. You find a overseer that wants to try to get the vault running, and so you help her out getting the vault running. And the main quest line is actually really cool because you actually have to run tests on the test subjects. Spoiler alert from this point until when I say stop. Some of the quests require you to run specific tests on vault dwellers, and it's actually really hilarious how it works because some of the tests, you build a contraption and you connect it to a terminal, and you choose test parameters, and the test parameters decide what happens to the vault dweller as they're running the test. And so the first one is a power cycle. It's like basically like a stationary bike, and they have three ones you can choose. One of them is that if they pedal lower than a certain speed, they get electrocuted. Another one is that as they're pedaling, the bike slowly injects buff out into them, which is a drug, and they eventually become addicted to buff out, and so they start to gain positive reinforcement to riding the bike, so they consistently go back to the bike to ride it because they don't know they're being addicted to a drug. And the third one is that whenever you pedal the bike, it produces soothing sounds and scents of lavender and vanilla. So every single test you choose, there's two cruel ones and one that actually benefits the actual person. And so that way, if you're kind of being more of a pacifist in your playthrough, you can choose a pacifist route for those tests, which is really nice. And eventually it gets to a point where you can actually run the vault completely, and you can build the vault completely. You can build all your sectors, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. It's awesome. And so I've been doing that for the past few days. So yeah, that's Fallout 4. And Gary.
So the game I'm going to talk about this week is a game that I've been waiting for a very, very long time. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I got the game on Sunday and was able to play it perfectly. And now I can't. I don't know why, but I can't. But let's talk about the game. So, Deus Ex Mankind Divided is great. I highly recommend it. I would probably, if you haven't played Human Revolutions, I would highly recommend playing Human Revolutions. It'll fill in a lot of the gaps, but you can still play Mankind Divided as a standalone. I would just, not even to fill in the gaps, but I would play Human Revolutions just to play it. It's so good. It's kind of racist, but it's really good. In Mankind Divided, it takes place 2 years after Human Revolutions. where I'm trying to figure out a way I could explain it without giving away a lot of the story, because explaining it will give a lot of the story. It's pretty much Adam is no longer in Detroit. He is now in Czech Republic. He is in Prague, and no longer working for Seraph Industries. He is now kind of almost like a special agent. If you've watched the trailers, you can obviously see there are new augmented abilities. They're pretty cool, but they have a drawback. I'm not going to explain what it is, because that actually is a huge part of the story. But there's a huge drawback that is actually like affects the game significantly. So the one thing about the game is that it's very obvious that it is touching on real life situations right now that's taking place right now in America, really, between protests and racism and authority between civilians and police. And the one thing I kind of admire about the game is that it puts you as a character in both sides of the situation. There is a divide between augmented people and what they call naturals. And if you look at augmented people as people from a different race, or things like that, it's pretty much a battle between racism and police authority. And it puts you in the middle as an unbiased party, so you kind of sympathize with both sides. Because Adam Jensen, if you've played previous games, it's not a huge story thing or spoiler. Adam used to be a cop, so he sympathizes with the police officers that are A, trying to do their job, and B, they do have bad cops in the game. But he is also a augmented human, not by choice, but he is, regardless if he wants to acknowledge it or not. So he will, whether he wants to or not, has to sympathize with augmented people, and it puts you directly in the middle, and you have to make choices based upon that. Now, the difference between the previous games is that the choices affect the game 10 times more than it did in the previous games. Like, I've already fucked up. I've already messed up. Like, I punched a woman in the face that I should not have punched in the face, but she didn't want to give me the answer that I needed, so yeah. So that's Deus Ex, and eventually I'll be able to play it again. Thanks, Microsoft.
Dun, 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 dun. Boop. That's this week's installment of What's in Your Disc Tray. That's pretty much what our segments of What's in Your Disc Tray have evolved to. It's just us making noises and not really coherently saying things anymore.
Yeah. Hello.
So that's What's in Your Disc Tray this week. Calm down, your keys get picked up in the microphone. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, want to say this. We have something big happening right now. Maybe. We are not going to say anything about it yet until the decision is final, but there's some big stuff happening. Nothing bad. Like, not at all. We're just not at liberty to talk about it in detail, but there's some big news possibly coming. So stay tuned for that. We all know when. Anytime in the near future, which near future could be up to 2 months from now. But in the meantime, be excited for new content coming from us. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, went to the outro to see the other stuff that we have. And like always, go out there and play some video games. Nerds.
Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go tell him. So, what's happening?